Alright, welcome to the channel. So, seeing as I recently finished my very first playthrough on YouTube, which was Sonic Unleashed, I decided it would be a great idea to go ahead and talk about what exactly I loved about this game, and also some of the things that I hate. I mean, Sonic Unleashed is already a very controversial game amongst the Sonic community, with a multitude of different opinions being added to the chaos every day, so why not just pile onto the dumpster fire, right? But anyway, without further ado, let's discuss what it is that makes Sonic's first 3D boost venture so amazing. Okay, I want you to take a moment. Acknowledge the fact that this game came out in 2008. 2008 is when Hedgehog Engine 1 really put in that work to make this game look so gorgeous. Because just look at this clip, and this clip, and this clip as well. This game was so graphically impressive that it took over a decade for modern consoles to actually catch up to it in terms of frame rate, finally being able to made officially playable at 60 FPS in 2021, which is over 10 years after the game initially released. And yes, I know PC mods were probably able to do this years prior, but PC is basically a cheat code for everything at this point, and I'm talking about official releases, guys, so stop writing those comments. I mean, I legit spoke about this in my playthrough. Like, seriously, those times where they let you take a breather and focus on the environment are just mythical, man. Like, I can't stress it enough. I seriously love the way the water looks in this game. Just the stylistic choices they make as well are just so amazing. But anyway, that's enough laminating. Let me move on to the next topic. Alright, so a while back, I heard this sentiment, I guess you could say, regarding this game's music. When you hear a track from this game, you can tell that it's from Sonic Unleashed. The same way you can differentiate a Sonic Runners track, a classic Sonic track, or even a Colors track from each other. This game has a distinct and recognizable sound, and I don't know, maybe some of you might think differently, maybe it's actually different for everyone, but in my opinion, I think it would be very hard to mix up a game that sounds like this to a game that sounds like this. Even the game's main theme, which is Endless Possibilities, is extremely recognizable amongst fans, although I guess it's like that for most mainline themes anyway. Emphasis on most. And by the way, let me know what your opinions on the game are. I'm not gonna be one of those people that gets mad whenever you don't have the same opinions that I do. And you know, even if you trash my favorite game, I'm not really too bothered about it. I just want to know what you guys like think about it, you know, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my opinions are just straight up stupid. Let me know down below what you guys think. Say what you want. Every single CGI cutscene was absolutely breathtaking, man. This is the only thing that I will unapologetically overprotect because it's just so damn good, man. Please, if you don't understand the beauty of the opening cutscene to this game, go do some research on it, man. Go watch YouTube videos explaining it or something. Go watch the cutscene itself if you haven't actually seen it. Because it's just so unnecessarily intricate, all for the sake of cool factor and presentation. Like, come on, you can't help but give kudos to that. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a masterclass of cinema or anything, because I'm not really somebody qualified to decide all that, but maybe you can decide it for yourself. I'm going to keep this segment brief, but please go watch it, man. It's just so amazing. Anyway, before I discuss the main events, there's something I really want to discuss real quick. Okay, so this is unironically the thing I was most excited for when I started playing this game, and I've said this time and time again on the channel, but I grew up on Nintendo consoles exclusively. So the only time I ever had access to other consoles was when I was at my cousin's house, because They both had Xbox 360 and PS3, but they didn't have Nintendo consoles, so we basically leeched off each other to play the games we otherwise couldn't play, which is actually how I ended up getting to play and complete Sonic Generations when I was younger. Anyway, since I only had Nintendo hardware, the closest I could get to playing this game was either through Let's Plays or through the Wii version of the game, which I opted for both of those methods. But when I played the Wii version of this game, I was greeted to this, and that hurt me, bro. I remember frantically searching things up on Google to figure out how I could access the hub world, only to be greeted with disappointment and sorrow. And because of that, I never enjoyed the SD version of the game because it just was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just pain. Every time I put that disc into my Wii, I just experienced pain, heartache. But grudges aside, I know a lot of people complain about the medal collecting in this game, and although I believe it wasn't necessary per se, I also don't think it was a terrible addition to the game. I mean, I think it encourages you to explore the different pathways that they so gracefully laid out for us, and they give you so many methods of obtainment that's hardly ever a problem, whether you're playing as Sonic the Hedgehog or as the Werehog. And speaking of which, okay, I think we can all agree that this stands champion as the most challenging 3D boost game to date. Nothing can top that, not gens, not colors, and hell no, not forces, man. This is probably attributed to the heavy trial and error nature of the game, because you will never get an S rank on your first try. Even if you refrain from boosting to avoid getting hit or whatever, in this game, your runs are all determined by your knowledge of the stage, your application of the knowledge, and your speed, obviously. And if you don't have all three of those components, then you're probably not going to make the cut. Now this sounds bad on paper, but these stages aren't actually so hard to learn. And when you do learn them, they're ultimately a blast to just blaze through. And to be honest, the environments do so much good when you're replaying these stages, because they always give you something to come back to, whether it be just to jam, or to just enjoy the sights. All in all, I think that this rendition of Sonic is perfect, and I'm hoping that someday, please, give us another voice actor that can match Jason Griffith as the most diverse sounding Sonic in the franchise. The Werehog. Oh, the Werehog. If there's one thing to take away from this video, I love him. I love the Werehog. You probably thought this was going to be one of my gripes, didn't you? Well, here's the thing. The Werehog, well, definitely a random decision. I personally love his gameplay. Though he's not boasting the most advanced beat-em-up mechanics, he's extremely fun for what he is. And definitely a really nice change of pace in comparison to the day stage experience, which can get crazy frustrating depending on how long it takes you to actually learn a stage. Because even though these are still challenging stages, they're more unique, because one thing that I haven't actually discussed about this game yet is the RPG elements, and those become very, very prominent whenever the sun sets. For example, without upgrading your combat stat, you are going to be crazy limited in the combos you can actually achieve, and that's going to get very annoying in the later stages where you have to fight flying enemies, and paired with the lack of checkpoints, even in areas where you feel like you definitely deserve them, you're probably going to end up dying a brutal death if you don't allocate your stats correctly. Now, some people see this as a flaw, but the ability to, replay multiple stages to farm EXP is very useful in this game. So one thing that I have to commend them for is the fact that they didn't limit the amount of EXP you can get for the most part. Obviously there's a limit to how much you can replay the same stage over and over again, but at the end of the day you'll still end up getting EXP if you choose to just grind. And on that topic, this is my biggest problem with the Werehog. It's not his mouse slipperiness or his ugly Jordans, but the lack of checkpoints. I'm not saying that I want things to be unreasonably easy, but we all know there's nothing more frustrating than having to restart from zero. And that's something that happened to me multiple times during my playthrough. I promise you, I'm not a stranger to losing progress. And the worst part about all of this is the fact that they don't save the EXP you get post-death. That is such an annoying feature that they should have definitely put a lot more thought into, because if you forget to allocate those stat points after every fight and then you die, you're screwed. It's either you miss out on that EXP or you have to go fight the same enemies all over again. Now, do I want the werehog to come back? Hell nah, no. Keep him in Unleashed and don't bring him back ever again. And I'm not saying that because I don't like him. I mean, he's probably my favorite power character in Sonic Runners of all time. But it's solely because we know what happens when they bring back old gimmicks from previous games. Sega, do not meddle with my boy, please. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a bit of a different type of video, you know, I'm trying to experiment. I've been going for like a whole month as of recording this video, but trying to get back into the swing of things, you know. And yeah, I guess this was basically my way of doing that. I'm not gonna act like this video was like extremely thought out. I did have a script, but I didn't really read off that entirely. I kind of did basically just say what was on my mind for the most part, but yeah, I hope that was, you know, acceptable, I guess. Very unstructured video, but had a lot of fun writing it and, you know, making it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it and thought my points were kind of valid. But anyway, hope you guys have a great day, man. Thank you for watching.